Recently I've been learning about Australian politics, in particular Australian voting, the voting system itself, and someone recommended a few Clarke and Dawe videos along those lines or to do with that subject. I thought this one seemed like it could be the funniest. It had the funniest title, Australian voting to be outsourced, millions saved. I've watched a lot of their videos, always enjoy their brand of like political satire, comedic geniuses, and yeah, you can tell me what you think about this one. If you've got any other good videos from them, whether it's from this show or from any other work that they did, please recommend them as well. I always enjoy watching them. And yeah, let's check this one out, see what it's got to say.
Tony Abbott, thanks for your time tonight.
Good evening, Brian. It's good to be with you.
Now, this decision to get Australia's new submarines built overseas.
Yeah, important decision, Brian, and ultimately a very good decision made, I might say, on the basis not of industry policy, but importantly, on the basis of defence policy.
Have we got an industry policy?
Yes, we've got an excellent industry policy.
Have we got a capacity to build these submarines here?
Yes, we've got the Australian Submarine Corporation, Brian, down in Port Adelaide. You'd know that.
Yes, I do.
That's right.
So, who owns it?
We do. Government owns that.
Well, how good is our industry policy if we can't build our own submarines in a submarine building factory that we own?
Yeah, this is not about industry policy, Brian. This is the point I'm making. This is about getting the best result from a defence capability.
But Prime Minister, how good...
Yeah, just to say, I know sometimes they play real characters like parodies, so this is obviously Tony Abbott. Tell me if you think it's like how he would answer these sort of questions. But with regards to these submarines, is this a real issue that happened in Australia? Are they talking about like something that really went on? I know that being from Scotland, we had a similar thing with ferries being built, and it just ended up becoming this big palaver, almost a scandal in itself. Is this anything similar? What do you think about this?
Mr. How good is our industry policy if we can't build the best submarine from a defence point of view?
I would like nothing more than that we could develop the capacity to do that. But short of doing that, we have to do what we're doing at the moment.
OK, Prime Minister, you're on record as an admirer of the Japanese use of submarines historically in World War II. Prime Minister?
You.
We might move on, I think. How much are these?
Is that something he's on record is actually saying, man? The reaction there, it's like so good, such good acting, so unexpected, in the anger being kept under wraps. Let's just watch that little part again, man.
Short of doing that, we have to do what we're doing at the moment.
OK, Prime Minister, you're on record as an admirer of the Japanese use of submarines historically in World War II. Prime Minister?
You.
We might move on, I think. How much are these new submarines costing, Prime Minister?
$40 billion,
That
Brian.
is a lot of money to take out of the Australian economy.
We have to pay the money to get the best result from a defence point of view.
Prime Minister, I suppose my point is, why do we lose these contracts overseas when we have an industry policy aimed at improving industry?
Well, we're living in a globalised economy,
yes, we know
Brian.
that.
Obviously, if you can get something done more rapidly, more efficiently and less expensively, you go overseas and you do that.
I mean, that is such a thing that politicians would say, like, just disregard like building things at home if you can do it cheaper elsewhere. Maybe they wouldn't say it so blatantly, but that's what they all do, man. Does Australia have that capability to build submarines and do it well? Would they outsource that, do you think?
Based on that theory, what else will go?
Well,
Right.
things have obviously gone for quite some time. We're getting the planes made in America. We're getting the submarines from Japan. We're thinking of perhaps outsourcing the voting that we do.
Our voting in elections.
Yes, our voting in elections, Brian, could be done much more cheaply in India and China.
They don't know anything about the issues here.
Yeah, it'll be exactly the same as it's always been done, Brian. It'll just be done in India and China. Have you got any idea of what it costs to have an election here? And it's much more efficient if it's done properly.
More efficient?
Yeah, last time we had an election here, Brian, the people in Western Australia, and hello to them, they made such a balls up of it, Brian, they had to do it again.
Yeah, but hang
if
on,
people can't get these
Is
basic
that
things
true?
right, we have to go and seek professional help. We've got to go
listen, these
overseas,
people-
bite the bullet, and pay professionals who know what they're
But
doing.
these people overseas will need to be told who to vote for.
Yeah, it'll be exactly the same as it's always been done, Brian.
So why do we
Just
have
I'm
an
talking
industry-
bottom line here.
Why do we have an industry policy?
We've got to have
in
an industry
Australia?
policy,
Why?
Brian. So you can explain why these things are much more important than industry policy.
Thanks for your time.
You've got to start somewhere, Brian.
Thanks for your time.
We do have an industry policy, don't we?
We do, don't we? Asking inquisitively there, man. Yeah, but like that's just packed full of excellent little lines, and yeah, I wonder, being Australian, like how true to life do you think that is, or how do you feel about that? Is it like too close to the bone? Do you think you could ever see that? Is that something you could ever see any sort of like crazy politician suggesting? But yeah, very funny, man. Like, so I guess it's just like talking about the maybe the real situation of outsourcing, like the building of things that should be done by Australia to other countries just to do it cheaper, which is a like interesting debate to hear. Again, the UK does a lot of that. Like, we've outsourced everything, man. We've sold off everything to foreign companies, and it just makes things not as good in the country. So don't really know too much about it from an Australian standpoint, but this gives me a little bit of an insight, and great comedy as always. Great satire from Clarke and Dawe. Tell me what you think about this one. Thanks.